You know, tracing back, can was there a time in your life that, really moved you to want to be a part of community and create it or initiate it, that, being a part of Wiseacres since the beginning?
I think it really was different experiences like college where I just had really rich experiences of community, of people living together, of people working through issues
Mm-hmm.
more deeply than I ever did in family.
Mm-hmm.
So people who were committed and aware about the power of, problem solving and conflict resolution and going just deeper together than a normal neighborhood. So the sense of how rich it was to have a variety of personalities who could blend uh, living together and confronting issues or whatever, just really rewarding, like
Mm-hmm.
like magic. So I wanted to experience that.
So that was your dream, that was your vision, that diversity and that learning how to be together and the importance of that
Mm-hmm.
and that depth of connection you wanted to cultivate,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So then we began,
Mm-hmm.
right? And over those 20 some odd years that you were here, what are your takeaways, of that? What is it that emerged in you? What is it some for people who are even just beginning community, or what is it that you found when being here?
Mm-hmm. Well, I first have to say, in the manifesting of the space that we're in right now, 2 years of meetings almost every weekend, all weekend long. And at the time, I had the energy for that and the passion for it. I felt like group dynamics is where it's at. This is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like marriage, and it was like a honeymoon of a marriage.
Hmm.
And some people came and went, so that was what it was. But the sense was, this is a blast, and you have to love it to be able to stay in that long. A lot of people have that honeymoon and then they fall apart and they never come together.
Mm-hmm.
There's a longer story to say about how it did come together and happen and not fall apart after all, because we got really close at one point and then pulled back. And it was the Browns who came in and kind of joined our original core group that helped us push forward and have just enough.
Mm-hmm.
And then as we were doing that, then we found the Weinstocks, who were ensconced on their property and on Bainbridge Island, and we yanked them up here to join.
That you're speaking pretty much of the first year in the dreaming stage and the the visioning, and as you gathered the core group that sort of hit the ground running in the building and clearing land and everything like that. What did it teach you, really?
Well, the shit hits the fan when you have to live together and you have to share resources and you have to depend on each other to follow through on agreements, and that you have to learn how to speak to each other, and you have to learn how to confront your own families of origin issues. And in a relationship, that's hard enough with two people. And I'm almost 65 here, and Rana and I, my partner and I, we are still learning about all these patterns. And then when you multiply that by everybody, we think we know each other, we think we know. And if we really are going to go deep together, we have to be so willing. And not everybody is so willing to go that deep.
So what kept you on that path of, like you said, encountering, all your familial patterns and the pain in painful relationships, the things that stimulated in this pressure cooker of relationship we call community. What is it that kept you on that path? Because, you got to be tenacious for sure, but you got to be something else too, I guess.
You got to believe in it, believe in the value and the rewards that come through where you're with people, and when people agree together to go, oh yeah, I'm gonna get humble about this after all, I'm gonna break through this or connect or hear each other be willing to really hear something deeply and not just pass off on a cliche or a judgment about someone. So breakthroughs that happen, frequently, somewhat frequently in the visioning meetings or in other ways where you go, okay, now I can see how I can connect with this person, or I can appreciate this person even though I had some judgment. And so all those things can be rewards where there's a sense of, this is good, this is worth it. And it didn't necessarily happen with everyone, but when it does happen, you see these beautiful moments of initiation of the teenagers, and then the elders come together and the teenagers are there, and you see this kind of spectacular, kind of ancient gifting of community, of people coming together, and you go, fuck yeah, we're doing it.
So there's a reclamation of this sort of more of an ancient system of human relationship. Is that what you're saying?
Sure. Like all of us growing up, either dreaming of this or hearing about it elsewhere and wondering what could this mean, and then to experience that and have a sense of there's continuity here. There's this phenomenal poignancy of seeing our children arise and be inspired by this, and then also to offer it back. And they're old enough, and suddenly they're the community leaders, or they're having problem solving, conflict resolution together, or they're taking leadership. And I know that kids growing up in this environment have a different brain and a different physiology and a different neurology of interconnectedness that is ancient in a way that a nuclear family doesn't have. And that affects the adults too. And I think in the best of ways, our adult brains improve too with so much connection.
Yeah. So I heard you say it's it's a lifelong learning. In a sentence or three, takeaways that living in this way opened up for you? Possibilities even that it opened up.
Well, first thing that comes to mind is, we all have ambitions. We all have, projections of who we want to be, where we want to go, what we want to be part of. And sometimes they're really far out there, like I want to be around the world, or I want to do something on this kind of scale or this kind of importance. And I had experiences several times where a very subtle connection of, passing someone on the road, having this conversation, like, this is all I need in my life. I don't need anything more than this simple, deep belonging to a place and with people with a history of connection who are rooted in the place. So very, very simple, subtle, but powerful gift. I think that's the first thing I'd say.
Thank you. I'm wondering, maybe one more. Anything come to mind? What I hear is just that the richness of that belonging that comes over time, and appreciation, and the ups and downs of life, and living together, and in connection to the land over time. It creates that moment that makes it all worthwhile. Is that what you said?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Anything else? If you were talking to someone who's like even thinking about walking into the joys and the trials of community, intentional living this way.
Be prepared for heaven and hell.
Yeah.
And your own self, and be honest and willing to be vulnerable and expect that of other people, and be expected to be disappointed. And whatever it is that is your own mirror, bring that here with the willingness to hopefully share that with others and heal it to a place where you might break through into what human potential in community can mean, because it can mean so many beautiful things. And
it can. Well, thank you, Bob. As I mentioned earlier, you were here the first 23 or 4 years of this community, and you and your sweetheart moved to an island for various reasons. And I know that was hard to move, and it's been a good one. And I miss you here, and love and appreciate all that you have contributed to this community. It is felt. Thank you.
It's mutual. Thank you.